Now, guys, let's start with the questions. You guys answered my questions. Sound good, look good. Everyone is good. That's good. Sounds great, looking ugly. Yes, thank you, Jade. I appreciate that. They're talking about me, not you, by the way. All right, man. So most of us on here, at least a lot of my subscribers, probably most of us have never seen someone as young as you into prepping. So that being said, it's interesting. You're one of the very few. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are kids out there who do prep, but they don't have a YouTube channel, and this is good because you can get younger kids to, at the very least, pay attention to their parents. So I do applaud you for that. So thank you. Other than that, let's get into the questions. So, guys, we're going to keep it to an hour because, he's younger than the rest of us. And the first question is, and this is, I know what you guys are going to say, but I have to ask this first question anyway. How long have you been prepping for?
So first off, thank you for having me on your show and your channel, and it's really cool to be on. But I've probably been prepping for like the last 3 years, and I've probably been on YouTube for like that same amount of time, because really I think how I sort of got into prepping is through like making YouTube videos, because I started off making like little survival kits, and I thought that was really cool, and then I discovered like more about preparedness. So probably about like 3 years.
All right, very good. So what inspired you to prep? Why did you want to get into this? Most kids your age are playing video games, Fortnite. What is that crap? The other crap that you guys play. My kids play it. You build the city, but you most kids are focused on that or watching YouTubers. You're actually preparing.
Well, so really how I learned about preparedness is really, so I've been in like Boy Scouts like really most of my life. So I started in like Cub Scouts when I was 6. I'm still in Boy Scouts. So like in Boy Scouts we learn about like survival, camping, being prepared, and that's really how I just started prepping. And then I just found out like these little prepper YouTube channels. I started like talking to them, and then that's how I really got started into prepping.
All right, so what is your rank in the Boy Scout, or your level, or whatever it's called?
I'm a tenderfoot, and I'm almost second class.
Okay, right. That's like Chinese to me because I don't know anything about the ranking. How far do you have to go to hit Eagle Scout, or how many more years till you hit Eagle Scout?
Probably like 3 or 4, because you get it like when you're like 17.
Okay, very good. So, what are you preparing for? So what was the reason why you started prepping? Like, volcano, hurricanes, earthquakes?
Well, so I try to prepare now, and this is like sort of how it started. Like really like these little things, like a lot of people don't talk about. Like what if you get a power outage for 2 days? Like how you're going to prepare food, how you're going to cook, how you're going to get like supplies. So I started off with that. Maybe stuff even smaller, like you can't go to the grocery store because there's a blizzard and you don't want to go out the house. Like small stuff like that, I think is really important, and I think all of us should prepare for like small stuff and also some big stuff. But a lot more small stuff is going to happen in our lives than big stuff.
Very good, man. That was a good answer. So I have to ask you this question because usually it's the other way around. Usually you're asking people, well, what do your friends and your family think? What do your parents think about you prepping and being into prepping?
So first off, when I like mentioned the idea of prepping, so that was like a couple of years ago, so I was younger. So like I sort of overwhelmed them a little, but then once I started like getting supplies and like stuff actually happened, like power outages. Like one of the power outages, we ate mountain houses, so we had like a hot, nice meal, and it was really great. So now they're like actually into prepping, so we're like a prepper family, which is really cool.
Very good. So do you still take the lead in prepping, or did your father or your mother step in?
Really like so I think I'm the leader, but like my mom, my father and my brother, they're like really into prepping, and they get their own supplies, and it's really like a whole family thing.
Okay, very good. Very good. So let's see. Now, you seem adult enough to handle this question, so I'm going to ask it. What do you think will come from the second wave?
So I think we should prepare for like if something bad happens. I'm trying to look at more like optimistic and hoping there isn't.
Okay.
And I think there's probably not going to be, but I think we should prepare for really anything. So.
Very good. Very good. So, what is your biggest fear when it comes to, I guess when it comes to prepping?
Well, I really don't like to look at it like as a fear, like I fear that this is going to happen. I like to look at it like as like a backup. Like, what if this happens, then we have supplies to be taking, that we can take care of ourselves. So I look at it more like an insurance, not like fears.
That's very good. I think most of us do, and that's good that you do. You don't think like the panicky folks that I know, here in the city. So that's good. Now, do you have a bug out bag?
Yes, I do.
And do you have? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but do you have an EDC kit, an everyday carry?
Well, I'm trying to build up more of an EDC kit. Like, since I go to school, it's like harder to build up an EDC kit. But like, I always carry around my phone. I have an Apple Watch, so like that's always on me. But when I'm off from school and like going camping, sometimes I may carry a multi-tool, a knife, a flashlight. So I try to carry that stuff when I can.
Very good. So, obviously, you started YouTubing, 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
How did you... Let me ask, I'm trying to ask the question. Why did you start YouTubing? Like, why did you, no, not why did you, but how did you go about it? How did you convince your parents, that's what I'm asking, to do this and put your face on a screen and talk about prepping?
So really, I started my YouTube channel when I was like much younger, but like I did like little videos like gaming,
Right.
And then so like my parents let me. Really, only my friends were watching, and then I transitioned over to prepping and survival. So it took some convincing, but they eventually like just said, "We're gonna monitor it," which they still do, but you could do it.
Of course, as they should be monitoring, which is very good. Have you run into any problems with YouTube, being as young as you are?
Like you mean like some of the regulations?
No, people. People being.
Well, I mean, I've gotten like one probably hate comment. It wasn't really that bad, but I really just like to ignore it and like do my thing because I'm getting so much like other positive comments that like one hate comment or negative comment, I mean, isn't really like that bad. So I just really keep doing like my thing.
That's good. That's good that you can handle that and that you made that statement, because most people they see a negative comment and they crumble like origami, and they start firing back and listen, I think it happens to all of us, but some people more times than not they're a little more edgy with negative comments, and being that you made that statement, that's good. That's good that you're that young and you're able to handle it. That's pretty good. So now, being that you're the lead, we'll go with that. At what point would you bug out?
So I mean, this is like a more complicated question, and like, so like my first plan is to bug in because like all our supplies are here, but like some reasons I would probably bug out is because supplies are like dwindling, and like there's not really like more supplies we could get, and like the area, like we ran out of supplies. Or second, it becomes too dangerous. So like maybe a storm came in and it's destroying a lot of houses and a lot of people are evacuating, I would probably try it. Me and my family would try to evacuate too.
Very good. All right, so yes, guys, I know some of you made a comment about me not cursing. This is me being on my best behavior because I have to, right? You have to give respect where respect is due, and he's a kid, so I can't, right? That's the bottom line. And it's not like there's a need to curse. I'm talking to somebody way younger than me, so there's no need for that. Okay, so here it is. What is your go-to communication device? And what is your bug out plan without getting into directions and things like that?
So my first communication plan, I'm trying to develop more of a communication plan, but in like a not a good down situation, I'd use my phone. That would be like the go-to, like everybody. But I have a ham radio. I'm gonna try to get my license soon. And then third, I have a weather radio, so I could like receive information. And my bug out plan, I mean, I'm trying to develop that more because it's really like lenient. So I'm gonna try to develop my bug out plan more too.
So now, obviously, you have to, I guess, ask your parents about the bug out plan, right? Like you have to run it past them. No.
Yeah.
Right. That's that. Listen, that's pretty good. I mean, I guess you're young enough to know the difference. What would be the shortcomings of prepping in a suburban neighborhood? So, like, for example, I live in the city, and here in the city, I live in an apartment. In an apartment, we have limited room. What are the drawbacks from being a prepper in a suburban neighborhood?
Well, so there's a lot of advantages of being in a suburban, but the disadvantages would probably be like lack of land. Like I have a lot of land, but like if I had to convert it into like a farm and live off of it, I don't think I could because we don't have enough land. Second, probably people, because there's a lot of people near you, which can be good, but then also if something happens, it can be really bad too. So I think those are really the main disadvantages to living in a suburban area.
And what are the disadvantages to prepping in a suburban area?
The disadvantages of prepping, probably like you're like in more of a bigger community, so if somebody like would find out, they would probably like question and like act like a little weird and like question why you're like doing it.
Because you have more eyes on you as opposed to in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here, most people ignore you until they need your help. So I know, and this is going from guys I work with that live in suburban neighborhoods. Your neighbors are more on top of you and are watching you a lot closer than, people watch us here. Though people in the city do watch, so it's when they watch you here, it's not as obvious as it is by you, like or in a place like you. So this is again another adult question, but I think you can handle it. What are your predictions for the rest of this year?
So, like in the beginning, I said I like to think more optimistic, so I think it's going to get better, but I think we really have to prepare, and I personally think that we may get a second wave of all this stuff, but I personally don't think it's going to be as bad, and I'm hoping it's not going to be as bad, and trying to look more optimistic and on the bright side.
But you are that's what I like about it. You're not, sorry, I'd rather say this. You're not looking at it as complete optimism. Like you're probably like 95% optimistic, but 5% of you is like, just in case this collapses, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Right? So now, at what point does your parents step in when you have to initiate anything that involves prepping?
So when my parents would step in, it's probably like if I want to build something like in the backyard, like when I was building my first raised bed.
Okay.
like I had to talk to them about it and convince them because it's like money and it also takes up a lot of space too. So
Okay. So, do you raise money for your preps or do your parents help?
for my, I buy a lot of the preps like with my personal money, but some like for my parents, like my mom built herself like a car bag. I also helped, like it was sort of like a gift. So I for my personal preps, I raise my money, but my parents also buy preps for like the family. So it's like we all pitch in really.
Very good. That's how it should be. But not everyone is on the same page like you, which is pretty cool. Kevin Grip, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Again, guys, thank you for watching. And for those of you that are watching, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever makes you happy. Tonight, we are going, like I said before, a little easy, but not too easy. Apparently, he has an adult conscience level, so I can ask him, more adult-like questions, which is pretty cool because I don't have to hold his hand, and he knows what I'm getting at when I ask these questions. So, I guess I have to ask this: what if you could drive? And I know you can't, obviously, but if you could drive, what would be your bug-out vehicle? Your go-to bug-out vehicle?
Well, I'm looking at like a lot of pickup trucks. Like I really like the Ford Raptor. I think it's a really big truck. It's really cool. It's really expensive though, but I think it's a really cool truck. And if I had the money, and if I was like the legal age, I would probably get that.
No kidding. Very good. And to think about it, when you get to the driving age, which is what age in where you at?
To drive like alone to get like the license, it would be 17.
Oh, it's the same here. And yeah, so then by the time you get a car, that car will probably be, a lot more advanced than what you're looking at now. But it's cool that you got a car in your head, an idea anyway. Now, as far as bug out homes go, what would be your ideal bug out location?
So my ideal bug out location. So I think it would have to be close to like places like where we could get supplies, like close to people, but enough farmland. So like a couple acres, but then also have a community. So like we could build, like we could have like relationships with the neighbors. So like we could help like each other out. Hopefully. So like near supplies, but then have enough like farming room.
Very good. So you're at the book reading age because God knows I'm not anymore, but I still try. What prepper books have you read?
Well, I've read a lot, but one of my like top ones would be the Bushcraft Bible. That one was such a good book because it really covered everything from like homesteading to bushcraft to bugging out. It really covered like everything. Food storage.
What's the name of the book again?
Bushcraft Bible.
Bushcraft Bible. I gotta look into that. Never heard of that one. All right. You read any fictional books involving prepping?
Not really like involving prepping, but I am interested in like military, like that type of stuff. So I do read about that stuff too.
Very good. Then I should suggest a book to you 1 second after. It's a decent read. It's a lot of action. You're definitely gonna dig the military tactics at the end, but that's a book that looks like it would be up your speed. So hopefully you get around to it. So now I have a few more questions, and I'm not going in order. So this is a moral question, and being that you are younger than the rest of us, I'm curious about where you would go with this. And there's no right or wrong answer, right? So if you came upon an obvious prepper stash, would you take it or would you leave it?
I'd probably leave it. And I don't know what we're talking about in like a grid down or like grid up situation.
Grid down.
I'd probably not want to take it, but I I want to help out like my neighbors, but then I also understand that like not everybody wants the best intentions for you, so you want to keep your family first. But I would probably taking it would be the last option ever.
That's pretty good, man. I like that. That's really good. So now, because you are again younger than the rest of us, but I know we've all made mistakes. I mean, age at that point doesn't matter because you'll make a mistake and be like, "Damn it, why did I do that?" Um, what mistakes have you made, and how did you learn from them?
So I'm gonna like talk about more like camping like mistakes because I've been camping many times, and like the first time I went camping with like my Boy Scout troop, like a lot of things went bad, and I really learned. Like from one of the camping trips like a year ago, I learned because it like rained a lot, so our tent got like soaked on the inside. That like to keep my clothes and all this stuff in plastic bags because we were literally like sleeping in puddles. So, and if I put it in plastic bags, it would probably be better.
Because it's dry. You know, it's funny. You are the third person to tell me they went through something like that, and this is the Boy Scouts, right?
Yeah.
You're the third person to tell me that. A couple guys who obviously older than me, but were in the Boy Scouts said the same thing. They had one of those jamboree nights. They go out, they get swamped, they're sleeping in a puddle, and at some point they had to go to another tent, which is a counselor's tent, and he had to bail the water out, and they were pretty much sleeping sitting up because they were all crammed into this tent. It's interesting that it's like a lot of guys, a lot of people or kids in the Boy Scouts, they go through the same thing. It's pretty interesting. So now, do you think, and I know the answer to this, but people, do you think you're going to stick it out with the Boy Scouts till you hit Eagle Scout?
Definitely.
Good. What made you want to join the Boy Scouts?
Well, I was really in Cub Scouts like all my life, so my parents sort of like, so we went to like an expo and it seemed pretty fun, so I joined it. And like Cub Scouts is like you can learn stuff, but it's like introduction to Boy Scouts, so it's like a lot of games, and then Boy Scouts is like stuff gets like more serious. You learn a lot more stuff, and it's really cool. So.
All right. So when you got to the Boy Scouts, that's when you started learning, like I guess more survival stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the Boy Scouts handbook in comparison to maybe the other stuff you might have read?
Well, I know it definitely has some like good topics it discovers, but there's also like just requirement stuff because like Boy Scouts, most of it is like camping and like outdoor related, but there is like other stuff. So I think there are some good like points in the Boy Scout handbook though.
All right. Right. Yep. To be fair, you're right. I was in the Cub Scouts when I was like I don't know, man, almost 30 something years ago. So the book looks like it's pretty much the same. It changed a little bit, but not by much. But that's pretty cool that you're into it and you're sticking with it. Listen, most kids don't do what you do. Most kids don't stick out this prepping thing. They might look at it and then they're in it for the short term and they're gone. A lot of kids do like the Boy Scout thing or the Girl Scouts if you're a girl, and they don't stick with it too long. I mean, for the kids I've known. So that's pretty good that you're sticking this out and you're sticking out the whole prepping thing. So do you think the current climate today, with everything going on, I'm not going to get political, do you think with all that's going on, is that keeping your focus or attention in prepping?
Well, it's sort of keeping my focus on prepping, but then it's also keeping my focus on other things because like you sometimes have to get away from like all that negativity. You can't ignore it, but sometimes you just have to get away. So I am also keep on prepping and focusing on prepping too.
That's very good. All right. So now, are there any Boy Scouts that you know that are preppers as well?
Not that I know are preppers, but some of them are like really into like the survivalist and like the outdoor stuff.
All right. Ronnie, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Uh, the lady said that you're an amazing young man. So I've been getting a lot of comments on the chat there, and a lot of them, if not 98% of them, are positive. They talk about you, how how focused you are, how great you are. You're a great man. So listen, kid, you're doing something right. You got. We have 507 watchers and 349 likes, so that is good. And of course, we got 6 thumbs down. But listen, the thumbs down are always the jerks that as soon as I hit live, there's already 3 there because they have nothing better to do. So you're doing good, man. You're
Thank you.
you're impressive, to say the least, and you have a lot more to go. So you can actually fine tune this field, and with your thinking, your positive thinking. But it's funny, you're a positive thinker, but you're not completely in the realm of fantasy. You realize that there's negative stuff going on out there. You also realize that you got to listen to what's going on, but you don't have to focus on it, which is really good. So hopefully you stay that way. So now I'm gonna ask you a firearm question. Obviously you don't own any, but I'd like to know what would be your favorite firearm if you could own one or shoot one now.
Well, so I don't really have much experience in firearms, so
Okay.
I don't really know which one I would pick. But through the Boy Scouts, in Cub Scouts, I shot BB guns, and I have shot some 22s, hunting rifles.
Okay.
So I don't really know, but I would like to explore that when I get older.
That's something. I just watched my dog get on the couch. Always does it. Awesome Mermaid. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. So listen. Again, being that you're young, do you have any other hobbies other than prepping?
Well, yeah, I do. So I'm really into aquarium keeping and pet keeping.
Okay.
So I have a 5-gallon fish tank, and then I have a pet dog, and I want to get more animals, but I would have to prep for them too, and my parents aren't really letting me, yet, but I have to convince them. But that's one of my other hobbies. Also, I'm into analyzing different companies, so seeing, so really stock investing. I think that's really interesting. So that's my other hobby.
So wait, hold on. Your hobby, one of your hobbies, is looking into investments, and then I guess trying to. Very good. So listen, I'll be the first to say it before the chat says it. You're looking to be a millionaire, because if you're looking at investing at this young, I just started looking at this stuff, and it makes my head spin. If you are at your age and can figure this out, that is pretty cool, man. That's pretty impressive, because
Thank you.
I would definitely hire somebody like you to do that. I would have no interest in doing it. But that's cool. So, what is your opinion on bugging out?
Well, so me personally and my family, I don't think it would be the best option. It would probably be the last option, because bugging out as a family is harder, and then we also have my pet dog, and she doesn't really do that well in cars, and she sometimes freaks out because she sometimes has anxiety. So I don't think bugging out would really be the best option. I'm thinking more that's the last thing I would do, bugging out, because it's harder.
So, what is your opinion on bugging in?
I think bugging in, there's some disadvantages, hunkering down, especially in a suburban environment, since there's a lot of people there. But I think there's a lot of advantages, because you have more room. You could also start gardening. You have more supplies and access to more supplies.
Yes, that is true, and that is why my view from bugging out switched a little bit. Right, so I used to be all about bugging out and getting out of the city, and then hitting the road. And then you watch the movie The Road. Have you seen that movie?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's very depressing, so I wouldn't watch it if I was you. But when you watch that movie, you get a sense of how hard it's going to be on the road. So I went from wanting to bug out, like, right away to checking out the situation first and then seeing whether or not we have to bug out. So that bugging out's not the forefront of everything. And a lot of people seem to think that bugging out is like the first thing you should do. It's absolute, like you said, it's the last thing you should do. So someone did ask a question here, and guys, do me a favor, start asking questions for him, because we are entering that phase right now. But someone just asked, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one brother.
Oh man, what does he think of this?
I mean, so I have one younger brother, so he's like sort of into it. Like, not as much as me, but he also like has his own crabs. He buys it with his own money, so he thinks it's cool.
Very good. Jules, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. So, Justin. So my son's on here watching. Obviously, he just said hello. Anyway, he's saying hello to you. God, that just threw me off. It's just so. What do if they know about it, what do your classmates think of this? Because I know they know you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are like, so like my close friends, they really support it. Like, one of my friends, he would help me like edit my videos like a year ago, and he helps me with like a lot of the channel stuff. Like, he sort of taught me how to like edit. Okay. So they're really like supporting it, which is really cool.
That's good, man. You need friends that are going to back you up like that. That's actually great. So now someone asked me a question. What kind of dog do you have?
So my dog's a rescue. So I think she's like all-American, like foxhound, and like other breeds. Like, we don't know exactly what she is, but
okay. Being Special NYC, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Also, who or what is your inspiration for prepping? Or rather, who? Because you answered that question earlier.
Well, so there's a couple. So I don't know if you want me to like name YouTube channels or like name like people's names.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. Well, really, like when I started to like get into prepping, I know Angryprepper. When I started looking into prepping, he would make like he still makes these really funny videos, like with all these like funny intros, and I thought it was really cool, and I started looking into more of his videos and like binge watching his videos, and yeah, he's one of my inspirations.
Very good, man. Everybody needs one. So someone's asking me so they're asking you, what would you say to encourage more kids to prep, to get them into it?
Well, I would probably like I'd try not to overwhelm them. I'd probably just say like, oh, what if you have a power outage? Or what if it starts raining while you're waiting for the bus? Like, small, like, everyday stuff. Like, if it starts raining, what are you going to do? Like, if you had a poncho or, like, something to put over your head, like, that's waterproof, you would be fine. Or if you miss the bus, like, what are you going to do if you're hungry? So, like, small, simple things like that.
Okay. Gary, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Again, guys, thank you for the donation. I know, I know that you guys don't need to do it, but again, I appreciate it. Miguel, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat, guys. So, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Well, so I'm really interested in the military, so I'm looking at like the Marines and like different branches. Like, I'd probably do that like for 4 or like 8 years. But I have some interest in like politics, so I'm not going to get political, but that's all I'm going to say.
That's very good. Yeah, the politics, though I do it on my channel, I try not to. Not I try. I don't do it on here because these live streams that people like, at least they say they like them. We try to get away from that because this is the time for people to break the bullshit that's going on. This is like the only time we have, to get away from it, which is pretty cool. But listen, because you're looking into, finances at such a young age, I could definitely see you being a politician because who does that? It's just insane. And the fact that I haven't cursed yet, that's a record. So thank you for that. Though, listen, guys, people, don't get used to it, man. It's a it's a one time thing. Unless I have somebody who's like really religious and doesn't want me to curse, don't think that I'm not going to be cursing anymore. But that's pretty good. So let's see if we have any more questions. Oh, would you share your prepping? I didn't see that question, but something related to that. Would you share your preps with your neighbors?
Well, I think I would try to help my family first because you have to help your family first. But since I have a lot of supplies, if I can, I'd probably try to help my neighbors. And I think a lot of my neighbors would also try to like extend the favor once if they have stuff and we need stuff. Like during Hurricane Sandy, I remember one of our neighbors gave us I forget what it was, but it was like a battery, I think, to like power like a generator to our house. So I think that I'd probably try to help my neighbors.
Very good. My son is asking you, do you like prepping?
Yeah, I think it's really cool, especially all the community on YouTube, like all the other YouTubers I can interact with and talk to about prepping. I think it's a really cool community.
Very good, very good. So guys, for those of you, my son is on here. His name is Maverick Charles. He's not trolling me for a change, which he doesn't, but it's cute that he's on here. So some people are saying that they're appreciating me not cursing with you on. And it's the right thing to do. So now someone asked this question. Ronnie asked a question. Do you fish? Pretty sure you do, but.
Yeah, my dad's really into fishing, so he does a lot of saltwater.
Okay.
I like more freshwater, but I have went saltwater fishing, and I think it's pretty cool fishing.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to get used to it. We're going to Montauk next week, and I'm doing, what is that called? Surf casting, right? Is that what it's referred to? Right. Yeah, we're doing surf casting, and that'll be my first time doing it, so hopefully I catch something.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. Well, they said where we're going is supposed to be some really good catches out there, so we'll see. Hey, Prepper Princess, thank you for joining us. Shane, Mountain Scout Survival, thank you for joining us. Guys, if you're looking to take a wilderness class, Mountain Scout Survival School, he is your man. The guy's good on the level, knows his stuff. I was about to curse and quote myself. So check him out. And guys, if you haven't already, for those of you that are new, Happy Prepper, head over to his his channel, and like and subscribe. I'm pretty sure you guys are liking what you're hearing from this young man, and head over to his channel and show him some love. That's what we do for each other on here. So again, I'm enjoying this interview actually. I thought I was going to, have to. It's easy behaving myself when it comes to the cursing, but I thought I was going to have to ask you more kid questions, but you're not a kid, so I mean, you're a kid, but you're not in that sense. So I'm going to ask you kid questions now. Dwayne, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks. Mikey Mac, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. So, do you play games? Do you play video games?
Well, I sort of sometimes play video games. My brother's really more into the video games, but I do watch a lot of YouTube, Netflix, a lot of movies, stuff like that, series.
Okay, all right. What kind of movies are you into?
Well, I like a lot of funny stuff, especially with all this craziness going on. So stuff like that. Also some survival movies, but they're also um, like fantasy, like survival, like not real. Like
Okay.
I watched some of The Walking Dead.
Well, Walking Dead's always entertaining. Even though I'm not too happy where the storyline's going, or at least I don't know where the storyline's going. And Fear the Walking Dead, God knows where that went because I'm not sure. I watched it the other day. I was just like, I don't want to get into it. It's just gonna, make me mad. But anyway, looking for more questions, guys. And there are, but the thing is, they're flying by. Oh, again, my son. My son is too much, man. He's just, he's on it. So, do you know, because I said earlier that you're the only young person I know who's a prepper on YouTube. Do you know any others?
Well, not really personally, but I know there's a couple younger preppers on YouTube.
Okay, all right. I mean, wait, they're younger than you?
No, they're like the same age or older.
Okay, all right. Oh, so someone asked, did you ever see Red Dawn?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. I think you might be able to get away with seeing that one, being that you're 13. The 1984 version, not the 2012 version. The 1984 version was a classic. To you, it might be like a black and white movie because it's so old, but it was really good, man. You get a kick out of it. And as far as war goes, like you said, it's an entertaining movie, and it's an entertaining, I guess, prepper movie. And again, at best, it's just entertaining. It's out of the realms of this crap.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
So, North Shore Preparedness, which, guys, if you haven't head over to North Shore Preparedness' channel, please do. North Shore Preparedness asks, if you could only prep one item, what would it be and why?
Well, I would probably prep my Leatherman Signal because it's really reliable and it has like a lot of like tools, and it's more geared for like the outdoors. So it really has like a bunch of different tools. So
okay,
I think it's really cool, and it's a really good item to have.
it is. I do. I love the Leatherman. I was sort of against him at first before I started getting into actually wilderness survival, and then I saw it, the Leatherman. I wanted, and I was like, it was like, I don't know, $80, but it was well worth it, man. Well worth it. So, do you trap?
Really good.
They are. So, do you trap or snare? I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't. But I think it would be cool to learn how to like set up some basic traps. Maybe like learn how to hunt. But I don't really know anybody who like does that stuff. But it would be cool to learn.
So, do you? All right. So, do you hunt? Like,
no.
Have you gone hunting?
No, but I think it would be cool to like try it.
You know what? I did it, on a smaller scale, and I tell you this much, man. I would hunt just to hunt. I don't see the gaming quality in it. I don't see why you will hunt, kill, and then mount its head on the, on the wall. I don't get it.
Like use all the parts.
Right, obviously, yeah, but do you mind saying how old you are?
I'm a teenager. I'm not gonna say like exactly, but.
Very good, man. Very good. I like that. So, what is pinball preparedness, guys? If you haven't head over to Pinball Preparedness' channel, please do. Again, another older gentleman that is on the level with prepping. He asked, what is the biggest challenge as a teenager when it comes to prepping? What is your biggest challenge being a teenager and prepping?
Well, really, like, the biggest challenge would probably be, at first, like, when I started getting into prepping, convincing my parents. Because, like, if you don't really have the approval of your parents, like, you can't really do, like, these big projects, like gardening and all that stuff. But I'm really fortunate that now they're, like, more into prepping.
Oh, very good. Okay, guys, prepping outside the box. Him and I will be doing an interview in a couple weeks. He is asking you a question. What kind of job do you want in the military? MOS or whatever it is.
Well, I'm looking at a couple. Like, probably, like, if I would go into the Marines, probably, like, infantry.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at. But I'm looking at like other ones too.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, what's the job he's looking for? Pinball preparing is actually the same question, and it just got answered. Um, Now, how savvy are you with technology?
I mean, I wouldn't call myself that savvy, but I really know like sort of like the basic like stuff about technology.
Okay, like the rest of us then. Good. So you'll be lost with the rest of us. I know my son's he's pretty spot on with the technology, and he picks it up fast, which is like insane. Because I used to be that kid when I was younger. You know what a VCR is?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So thank God you said yes. But yeah, I was that kid with the VCRs and hooking them up and stuff like that. But with the technology today, my son's pretty spot on with it, which is pretty cool. Because sometimes I'm stuck and he helps me, which I hate to admit, but sometimes I'm stuck and he'll help me out. So thank you, Marbury, for that warning. I appreciate it. So, what other preppers do you watch? I know you can't watch me. So, who are the other preppers you do watch?
Well, so I said Praxis Prepper. I watched some of his videos. A lot of like other big YouTubers, like the Urban Prepper. I watch
Good.
Like some of his videos. And who else? I also watch sometimes Yosemite Prepper.
Okay, all right.
And I sort of watch a younger prepper too. He's like about my age. I think he changed his channel name. He hasn't uploaded in a while, but his videos are like more bushcraft related.
Okay.
So like I learned a lot.
So how are your bushcraft skills? Bushcraft skills.
I'm trying to work on like my bushcraft skills. Like I go camping a lot, but like when I go camping, like we have like big bags, and we can carry like a lot of more stuff. So I'm trying to work on them more. But I'd say I'm sort of like average.
Okay, that's a good honest assessment. I like that. You're not one of those kids that are like, well, I know how to do everything, because then you will find yourself out in the woods, and you know what happens when you think you're it, and you get out there, and now it's time to perform, and you can't. So that's a good way of looking at yourself, which is good. Have you watched the Canadian Prepper?
Yeah, I watched some of his videos.
Very good. Well, someone said we're buffering, but not on my end. It's probably on theirs. All right. So some people, obviously my age, they're asking questions like, "Do you know what an 8-track is?"
No, I don't.
Very good. Officially, we're old guys. He doesn't know what 8-track is. We're dinosaurs. So that was it. That made everyone's day just now. Do you know how to use a bow drill?
No, but I would like to learn. Like I'm trying to learn.
That one's a pain in the ass. Sorry, but that's really you got to see it, man. You got to try it, and when you try it, I have to tell you now, there's a word of encouragement. Do not get frustrated with it. It takes a lot of time to nail it the first time, and then you start learning after that. And if you're going to bow drill, write down, if you can remember this, the conditions and the wood you use and how many times it took you and how long it took you, because that's going to help you for the next time you do your bow drill. I had to learn that the hard way out in Ohio, so it really, really sucked. So, someone's asking, do you believe in Sasquatch or Bigfoot?
No. Not really. I mean.
Okay, yes, it's good. Yeah, you know what, I do. So I said it. Yeah, I sort of do. Even though I don't know. These days, some people are. Well, no one's just seen him lately. Maybe because he had enough of what's going on. He's like deeper in the forest. But listen, whatever. All right, guys. So listen. So for those of you who are asking, Happy Prepper here, why did he get into it or how he got into it, you're gonna have to go to the beginning of the live stream to see his answers. But other than that, any videos from the weekend? Bugs. I have a couple of shots from the weekend. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, we did an emergency preparedness retreat weekend in Blairstown, New Jersey, where we went over medical treatment. So it was a first aid theme, if you will, medical theme, and we went over that. So I will be talking about the next one, which is in February or March. We're having a winter survival emergency preparedness weekend. So for those of you that are interested, please email me at angryprepper@gmail.com. And I'm going to try to get Shane from Mountain Scout Survival School to show up finally and help with the weekend if he's open to it. He's a busy man, so we'll see. Dan H., what's going on? So, do you have, I would say, do you have a favorite survivalist, being that you like this outdoor stuff?
Not really. I watch like a lot of survival, like the reality shows. Like I watch some Bear Grylls. Like I watch some Dual Survival. Alone, I watch a lot of.
Okay.
So, not really. I mean.
Well, that's good. Do you have a garden, by the way? And someone asked that a while ago.
Yeah, and it hasn't really done that good this year. This is like my 3rd year, but I'm just trying to like experiment with like new things and like figure it out.
All right, that's good. What are you growing? Are you growing basic stuff like tomatoes and?
Yeah, well, so we started some from seed. Like all the stuff from seed didn't really like produce anything.
Okay.
But we got some tomatoes like from the store, and it has like produced like 50, 60 tomatoes. So.
Oh, very good.
It's been pretty good.
That's good. That's good. Are you learning medical skills? Someone was asking.
Well, I know some like basic medical skills, but that's sort of a weak point. Weak point in my prepping, I think. So I'm gonna try to learn more.
Well, man, listen. You got enough time. You're young enough, and you young kids. For those of you that focus, you guys absorb a lot of it faster. So, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. So it's good that you can absorb that and learn faster than a lot of us who are learning this stuff now. Like I didn't learn wilderness survival until I was, I don't know, what am I, 43? So maybe 36, 37 years old. So recently, So it's good that you learn it now, man, because it'll probably come in handy before you know it. So have you tried canning?
I have experimented with some canning. Like all I've really canned was tomato sauce from like 2 years ago from my garden. But I haven't really been canning recently because my garden hasn't like produced that much and that good. So I need to get like more into it and learn more about it, I think.
Well, listen, that's good. That's good that you're not stopping. So like I said before, some kids, they get into it, they get into a jam, and at some point they're like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore, and they leave it alone. So it's good to just sticking with it. Again, we appreciate that, all of us. All right, so Heather, he's in school. He's not remote learning. So that's actually better than remote learning, because remote learning is, ugh. You know what? Listen, you went through it, right? You guys had to at remote learn at some point, no?
Yeah, we did it last year, like since March till the summer. So it was really bad, I think.
Yeah? Well, no, it's good to hear from a kid who's actually doing it, because I'm watching it over my kid's shoulder, and I'm pretty sure at some point I wanted to throw the computer through the wall a couple times. So, it was pretty bad. But listen, guys, we are at the 56-minute threshold. So, if you don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap it up. Now, I have to ask you this question because Raymond asked this question. You have any navigational skills?
I have some, I learned how to take bearings, but I want to try to learn more. So I have basic navigation skills, I would say.
Okay, all right, that's good. You know how to read a compass and things like that, right? Maps, compasses.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Because I can guarantee you, I could throw a map in front of a couple people, they wouldn't know what the hell they're looking at. They were like, "What's this?" Because everyone's used to their phones, right? They when you talk about mapping, people look at their phones now, and that's their map, which is doesn't work that way if the power goes out and your phone dies or you get lost in the woods, you know? So, what is your favorite prepping tool?
Well, I said this before, the Leatherman Signal I really like.
Right.
But probably something else. I forget, I don't know the company and like really like the spec, but like survival shovel, like those come in like really handy.
Okay. They do, and I had one, and we used it for construction, like demoing somebody's home, and it disappeared. So, and not that it disappeared, but I found it after he was done demoing his home. It was in a corner. It was rusted. It looked like it went through war and back. It was, and I just left it there. I couldn't do anything with it. I was so disgusted the way it looked. I was like, oh, you can keep it. So, but those things are great if you can get your hands on them. All right, so real quick, what is your favorite movie?
That's hard. Favorite movie. I've watched some movies, but I've really watched like a lot of TV series. Like, so probably like favorite TV series. I said I watched The Walking Dead. I really like the first couple like seasons, like season 4, season 5.
Okay.
So probably that.
What is your favorite prepper food?
Prepper food. I prefer mountain houses, like personally.
Okay.
I've tried a couple, like I have like that's the most I've like tried out of like all the prepping food. So like I have more experience with mountain house, but I just think like they put more protein in their meals, like more calories. They don't really like skimp on like food serving. So I really like them.
All right, and the last question: dog or cat?
Dog.
Yes, dogs are way more trustworthy than the cat that'll leave you behind to die. So, very good. Good answer. All right, guys. We are going to wrap it up tonight. Happy stay on till after I end this so I could let you know a couple things. And so my wife is on now. Very good. My son and my wife are on. Oh, that's pretty cool. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And Happy Prepper, thank you for joining me tonight. It was really cool having someone as young as you pretty much tell us how it is from your perspective. And I liked it.
It was really cool to be on your channel too.
Well, listen, man, you got the best of me today without the cursing. So you won, and a lot of people enjoyed it. So and a lot of people enjoyed this live stream. So it was pretty cool, man. All right, guys, listen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for the donations. Hit the like and subscribe if you do not mind. And I will see you guys in the... Oh, sorry. The announcement. Tomorrow night, Alaskan Prepper will be on. So do me a favor and join us tomorrow night. Alaskan Prepper seems laid back. So I might dwindle my cursing down on that one. Might. I'm going to ask him to see what he thinks. But other than that, guys, hopefully I see you guys tomorrow night. And Happy, thank you for joining us.